Am I second guessing myself on that? I am, and I'm not perfect, and I'm only human, and I do what I think's right at the right time. But what is going on, y'all? Jason over here at Cog Hill Farm, and I got to show y'all something right off the bat this morning. Let me just show y'all. Hang on. Good morning, Pink. There you go, baby. There you go. Miss Pink wanted out this morning. But yeah, this is pretty exciting. For me, it is. All right. Cannot wait to show y'all what I did yesterday. Got water officially in the sheep barn. And I tell y'all, this certainly makes life a lot easier. All right, let me set these down over here, let those soak. But yeah, yesterday I was able to get the sink hooked up, and one more thing, I wasn't done with just the sink. I also got me a water spigot on the outside of the shabarn here, so I can wash cars, I can wash the lawnmowers off if I need, I don't know, anything. But yeah, got a water spigot out here on the outside as well. Of course it works still here. Well, y'all, here I am in the horse pasture over here with Willie and Resca. And up to this point, me personally, I haven't been too worried about this. Now, I have gotten a lot of emails and messages from y'all talking about this. And since we got Maggie, and I know at some point, once Maggie is quarantined, once Maggie gets the green light from Dr. D, once all that happens and we put Maggie over here with these two, I haven't been too worried about it because Willie and Resca are senior horses. Willie's 25 plus, Resca's 21, 22. Laid back, they hardly ever, I mean, it's just, you know, I haven't been too worried about this until now. I did have another horse person reach out to me and made a mention of it, and I haven't been, let's just say I haven't been irresponsible. I haven't been ignoring anybody or anything like that, and I don't want you guys to think that, because we always take y'all's advice to heart. We really do. And I know at some point I'm going to add Maggie too. Now, Maggie's 15, and Maggie is, you know, 10 plus years younger than these guys, and 15 is not that old for a horse at all. And Maggie's going to have a little more spunk, and so I've decided that I'm going to do this, and let me show you what I'm talking about. That is that I plan to put a barrier up around this pole and this guide wire. I know that we've gotten not a lot of feedback. We've had several people reach out to us about this situation, and I can explain. Let me explain, number one, why we haven't done anything. First of all, Willie and Resca are senior horses, and they are just lazy, deadhead pasture ornaments. Look at them right now. They just never get excited. Not to say that they couldn't. They just don't do very much. They're not really that active. And that's one reason that I got Maggie, because I wanted a horse I can ride. Willie's got his ankle issue, his navicular bone issue. Resca's got, you know, a little arthritis in her back legs. Neither one of them have that much get up and go. Am I second guessing myself on that? I am, and I'm not perfect, and I'm only human, and I do what I think's right at the right time. But I got another email from a horse person who, again, you know, said that they were a little worried about this, and that I ought to consider maybe putting a barrier around it. And I am going to consider that now, because we are going to add Maggie to the mix over here, our new horse. She's not a senior horse. She is an active horse. I know when I put Maggie in this pasture, there's going to be some horse stuff going on, and that's perfectly fine. That's what they do. They gotta let her know, or she's gonna let them know. They're gonna work their differences out, and somebody's gonna be the leader of the pack around here, and it could be Willie. It's not gonna be Resca. Resca's always gonna be the bottom of the totem pole around here, but it could be Willie. So I don't want some running around and kicking and something happening and then this come into play. So I'm going to go ahead and build us a barrier around this. Another thing was too, is I was kind of worried about, this does have this transformer on it right here, and that's what feeds the barn over here for power. And I was a little worried about that and us putting a barrier around it and they the power company having to come out here and do something. But I was told by somebody that works at the power company for me not to worry about that, that they're, you know, as long as that they can get to it, and they can get their truck in here with their bucket, get to it. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a wooden 3-rail fence around this. That way we could pull a rail off. The rail is off with screws. They can get to it easily. And it's not gonna be, you know, humongous where the truck can't get in here. And that's my plan today. I'm gonna go ahead and get on top of this. And get this situation here knocked out, and that way I don't have to worry about this anymore. Y'all just don't get that excited, do you? They're just those slow and steady wins the race. That's what they're like, yeah. Also, guess what? Pecan trees are budding out, which means it's time to start planting our gardens around here. Hoss sent me some tomatoes they wanted me to try out. That there's some new ones that they got. And Brooke went to our local nursery, not Petals from the Past, but a little bitty hometown local nursery, very small, called Hollywood Gardens. We've been there before. Y'all seen us. That's where we got our mums every year. We get our mums from. That's where we get our ferns from. That's where we bought those azaleas from that we planted down here in the woods several years ago. But we've had back-to-back droughts, and so they didn't make it. And matter of fact, this year it's trending to be year 3, because we're already getting close to that first level of drought status here, because we haven't had much rain already this year. We're already falling behind the 8 ball when it comes to rain. So those azaleas did not make it. But Brooke wanted some more ferns, and so she went by there and the ferns were ready, and so she got ferns for the house. And then she sent me a text and asked me about some other stuff. And I said, yes, 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 and yes. So we got some herbs we want to plant. And she picked up something for me that I want, well, let's just say we're going to grow it on an arbor. And we're going to remove 2 roses here and relocate those guys because they're not doing very well. Hope I can get some of that done today. But first, our main goal is to get this barrier fixed over here around this power pole for the horses. Maggie, you eating some hay, girlfriend? Goodness gracious, you eating some hay. Yeah. Look out, Maggie. Look out, Maggie. Look out, Maggie. Goodness. Let's get your hay here. Get your hay going. There you go. There you go, girl. You eating some hay today. Yeah, you are. You eating some hay today. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna put us a little fence around the power pole set up over there. We don't need none of y'all getting hurt. I don't know what's gonna happen now when you get over there with your crew. I know for the first few minutes there, it might get a little WWE-ish, or it might not. I don't know. It might not. Y'all. I might not even do anything, you know. You might just go over there and be best buds right off the bat. I don't think that's how it's gonna work, but regardless, we're gonna have that. We're gonna have that area roped off over there, or fenced off, I should say, not roped off. Now I know some are gonna ask this here question. Jason, you're putting a fence around the horses. what about the one that's over there, you know, in the cattle pen? Well, there's some reasons why I think we're okay right here. Number one, this has been here for 3 years and I hadn't seen them really do anything to it, honestly. Also, there's no transformer on this pole, so there's no wires coming down here, anything like that. Really, honestly, the only thing that I'd have to worry about the cows would be is scratching. Scratching, you know, pushing up on this guide wire and possibly, you know, making the pole move or something like that. And with our scratching post right here, hadn't had that at all. I haven't seen a cow whatsoever push on, rub on, or anything like that on this pole. So cows are kind of different than horses. Now, if I see the cow start rubbing and scratching on this thing, then we will regroup. But as it stands right now, they haven't messed with it whatsoever. None, nada, zilch. Cows just, at least our cows, are kind of lazy. Cows are pretty lazy. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but cows are fairly lazy. If you ever look in a cow pasture and you see a trail where they walk all the time, because they'll walk that same trail over and over and over again, I've always been told that if you follow that trail, that will be the least resistance from point A to point B, because cows are fairly lazy. Y'all, we got it done. Now we're gonna let that set up, and we're gonna put the boards on it tomorrow. Gotta open up the gate. Brooks got Bobby C. Hadn't Bobby C been a tremendous asset to this farm? Oh my gracious. We couldn't have done that otherwise. Guess what? Brooke went and got all these beautiful goodies for the house. Ferns, plants, herbs. Gonna get those babies in the ground here in a few minutes. And listen, I know if these tomatoes make, we're gonna have enough tomatoes that you're gonna get your belly full this summer of tomatoes. Yep, I know it. I know. I don't think you like any herbs, though. I really don't. But I know you like some tomatoes. Yes, I do. All right, let's go plant a garden. You want to help me? Or you going to take you a break from your morning rounds? That's what I figured. All right, got the herbs planted right here. And we got some basil, some parsley, some chives. And then on this side, I put some thyme. Over here, I knew that would spread out. I didn't plant any oregano because it's more of a I won't even say a perennial here. It's more of a evergreen. I mean, it pretty much stays here year round, and it gets massive. I didn't plant any spearmint, peppermint, anything in the mint family, also because it gets massive and takes over. So I need to find me more of a dedicated spot for that. But in the meantime, I got these herbs planted, which are more, the chives may make it. We'll see. I got this kind of in, this basil side here will get more sun than this side. This side will get a lot of afternoon shade. That parsley and that chives, it'll enjoy that afternoon shade. Now the basil can handle sun. But these guys over here, they'll definitely enjoy that afternoon shade. Also, I planted 4 tomato plants. Now these are some that my buddy Greg over there at Hoss Tools sent me. This is a new variety they have. I know he wanted me to try these because they are, well, a new variety. It's called Dark Angel. And he said they are supposed to be the cat's pajamas. So I got these guys planted over here. I don't even know if these are out. I don't know if they got these out yet, or Hoss even has these out yet, but I'm kind of experimenting for him. I'm a tester for him on these here Dark Angels. They are indeterminates. They're not your normal determinate tomato. Now, if you can't ever remember what the difference between determinate and indeterminate is, your indeterminate tomato is the one that just keeps going. Just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and just the vine gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you'll have tomatoes year round. It's just that it goes a little crazy. Now, determinate tomatoes, for the most part, they're going to put on their fruit almost all at the same time, and when it's done fruiting, it's done, and it doesn't get near as big. So if you're in if you got tight spaces or don't have that much room, you know, I always leaned towards growing your determinate tomatoes. And how I always remember, and this is the only way I do it, is I always say determinate. So I'm determined to know I'm going to get all my tomatoes at one time. So that's how I remember it. It's just a little crazy thing that I remember the difference between indeterminate and determinate tomatoes. Still have a lot more beds out here. I did come in and put some soil on, or topped all my beds. Not all of them, take that back. Did top my beds off with soil. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4-ish beds. Really 3.5 beds left that I need to top off, so I got to get some more soil for them. And we'll finish planting this raised bed garden out over here. Me and Brooke did actually count up how many posts we need in here yesterday, and I think I got to get 7 more posts, and we'll start putting the poles around the outside perimeter of our fence here and get our lights and flagging hung up, and hopefully try to deter the peacocks from coming back here. I do plan on growing some determinate tomatoes, probably 2 more plants back here. I don't need a whole bunch of tomato plants. I know last year we grew a bunch of tomatoes, and then we put them, you know, pay what you can out front. And we may or may not do that this year. It just depends on if we have the time to tend for them. That's the only thing, you know. Some years you can, some years you can't, and I'll just kind of gauge that and see how that goes. While I'm back here, though, I do want to show you our strawberries. Look at here. Even after that late frost or freeze we got lots of berries on this thing, flowers everywhere. Of course, I did lose a few, but I think we're going to be okay with strawberries, y'all. Tell you what I'm going to do, since I got them planted, we're going to go ahead and cage our tomatoes. That one looks like it's bent. We don't need that one right here. 2, 3, and 4. There we go. I got these tomato cages, and they're really, really nice ones. If you can help it, don't buy those old cheap tomato cages you get from the box stores. They're just not worth it. They really don't do much of nothing. But I got these here from Hoss Tools pre-COVID. Since then, Hoss has quit carrying them because they are heavy, and shipping just got outrageous on them for them. But I will say this. I think our other good friends over there at Grower Solutions sells something similar. So y'all go check them out if you're interested in some of these heavy duty trellis systems or cages. Always remember, with them, I do have a promo code with Grower Solutions, and that is COG HEAL and the number 10, COG HEAL 10, all one word, and that will save you 10% over there. That one's a little crooked here. There we go. Now, got that done, Hollywood. I did make a big change out front right here. Y'all know I love roses, big rose fan, big rose lover. They're all my favorite roses, kind of like horses. I love them all. I had a rose trying to grow up this here arbor here that's been here just as long as the rest of my roses. My American Pillars, the drift roses, my Zephyr Druin in the back. I've planted 4 roses right here. One I had growing up here was called Lamarck, which is kind of a white rose. Smells amazing, and I wanted it to grow over this arbor and have the scent and everything and all the goodness that comes along with that rose, and it's done much of nothing. It's just struggled, just struggle city over here, along with this one. This one here is Juan de Spray, and I wanted it to grow on my fence. And you see I got one over here, and I look over here, look at this one. Same age as the rest of my roses. And you can see this one right here, just not doing well. And I've told y'all before this in the past, if something's not doing well in a spot, move it. Repot it, move it. I'm gonna repot these roses and probably plant them in the fall somewhere else, because they are not doing well here whatsoever. So that's when I came in here with this Magnolia. Is it Yeah, I can't remember. That was a Magavilla, a Bougainvillea, one of those villas right here. And this thing is, this is it should like the soil because it doesn't mind dry feet, doesn't mind drought, doesn't mind, you know, doesn't have to have super great soil, even though I have amended it. This should take this arbor over this summer. That's what I'm hoping for. And we'll see. If this don't work, then I know, you know, I have to do something next year. Now, the only downside of this is this will not survive my winter. It's not going to do it. It's going to die, and I have to replant something, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. I really don't. I could come back with something like a Asiatic jasmine, star jasmine. Those things won't die back. I could do a red honeysuckle, a red trumpet honeysuckle. It could do right here. Oh gosh, trying to think. I do a Confederate jasmine. Those guys do tend to have a, you're gonna have to keep them trimmed because they will go crazy on you. So I may just do an annual thing over. I could do a clematis, but they die back and come back. It's usually a perennial in our area. But there's several options I have here, but this year we're gonna try this Villa. Either Mandevilla or Bougainvillea. One of them. Oh, I think it's gonna be beautiful though if it does work. Hey Sheriff, hey, I know you're grooming, but I was gonna let you know that next time you get let out, and we're not letting you out today or, well, it just depends. Dr. D may come today or tomorrow, and I don't need you, you know, guarding the fence and not letting Dr. D in. He's got you know, he's a little leery of emus. He's got a horror story about emus, and he says he don't like emus, even though, you know, especially you and the other 2 crazies over yonder, y'all ain't gonna hurt nobody. But anyways, that's why I'm not gonna let you out right now. Dr. D may come, and I don't need you blocking the road or getting out in the road or blocking him from coming in or scaring him on top of his truck or something like that. But the next time we let you out here, either it might be if he comes today, but the next time you get let out here the next couple of days, you're probably gonna notice the pretties we got over there. Got the ferns hanging up, and got I planted some Bougainvillea. I think that's how you say it. Bougainvillea. Is it Bougainvillea or Mandevilla? Can't remember which one that was. Anyways, got a pretty vine growing up over there and got the ferns going. And, you know, if you look around back, you'll see I got some tomatoes planted and a herb garden going back there. But I don't think you'll eat any of that, honestly. But I am gonna plant some cherry tomatoes here directly soon. He laying down. What you laying down for? Hang on, I'm coming. I'm coming. There. Now. I'll do that, buddy. Now. Now. I don't know why y'all around here think I'm the elastic man, but I try my best. I try my best. All right. All right, you have a wonderful day, brother. Hey, Pocket, you see what I just got through doing? Yeah, look at here. Look at here, girl. I actually put the 2-inch connector here on the Greystone pasture vacuum right here. It had just a regular old, just a pin hitch style, and it was such a pain to do. Greystone actually sent us this with some other accessories that they sent us, and I finally got around to putting it on. I found 2 bolts here in the shop that would work. Got this on. We're about to go use the pasture vacuum on the horse pastures, Willie, Resca, and Miss Maggie. And the reason being is that I've noticed that when I drag the horse pastures, the horse manure doesn't spread out evenly, and it doesn't do like the cattle pasture does. We're gonna start using the pasture vacuum on the horses and just see how that goes. Not gonna do, I've been hand shoveling behind the barn where Honey and Jesse are. I'm not gonna do this back there because it's really confined, and I don't want to scare those guys and they feel like they're locked in and trapped in and can't go nowhere. So we'll just keep hand shoveling that. I am a little curious to see how Maggie reacts to the vacuum. She did okay when I dragged it the other day with the drag harrow. She did not mind it at all. Just didn't pay me any attention. But this is a different animal here. This has got a loud motor on it, got this long hose, makes all kind of crazy noises and, you know, clinks and clacks. And so it'll be interesting to see how she reacts to this. I think she's going to be okay, but you just never know. And the same with Willie and Resca. I think they'll be okay, but we'll see. Hey, Willie, what you think, brother? Huh? What you think about it? It don't look like much of nothing right now, though, does it? It is straight, though. I will tell you that. It looks pretty straight, don't it? Might not be square, but my poles are straight and in a line, you know, pulling the string and all. I'm terrible at getting things square. I'm just horrible at it. It's not my forte. I was terrible at geometry in school. Great at math. Not great in geometry. No, not in the least. Anyways, we'll get the rest of the boards put on tomorrow once that gets good and set up. And get that little thing knocked out. Unexpected project there, you know. Yep. Well, y'all, appreciate you hanging out with me and my horses today and helping us out with this little project here. And I do appreciate y'all with the feedback on this and your suggestions about it. I absolutely do. I say all the time, I don't know everything. I don't pretend to know everything. Tommy's over there talking to me this morning. Tommy says he knows everything, but I sure don't. And I absolutely appreciate y'all's feedback, y'all's advice, and your suggestions, especially on this one here, right here. And hope y'all have a beautiful, beautiful day. Right, Willie? That's right. Y'all have a wonderful day, honestly. In the meantime, here comes my other girl right here. Where'd she go? I thought she was head over here. She stopped and got her some grass. We love y'all. Y'all be good. Tommy says y'all be good too.